Tribes on location at the ARLA Propertymark Conference at Excel in London, and somebody who is always a pleasure to meet up with is John Paul of Castledene. John, it's been too long.
How are you doing? You all right?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, excellent, thank you.
Now, you're actually an ARLA board member now, aren't you?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your role there.
I've been a board member for about 2 years now. It's incredibly interesting. So we sit on the board and we discuss the strategy of ARLA and where we want to take ARLA as a company. And we just sit around, throw ideas around situations like when the tenant fee ban comes up. We try and talk about that, how we're going to help serve our members best, and really just try and raise the professionalism and the standards of the lettings industry.
Indeed, and this conference seems just to be going from strength to strength. It seems even bigger than last year, is that right?
It is, yeah. I think we had just over 1,000 people last year, and I think we're close to 1,200. So it just shows that we're coming together. It's uncertain times. There's a lot of ups and downs, shall we say, in the industry, regulation and legislation. So it's just great to see us all coming together to try and better the industry.
I think it is important for everybody to take a day out of their business to attend events such as this. There are obviously predominantly lettings agents here, but also landlords, so a good gathering of the property community.
Yeah, it's really good to see a lot of landlords coming here as well, and there's obviously the supplier stands and stuff, so there's a lot of people trying to see how they can use PropTech to better the companies and better themselves as landlords, so it's great to see everybody pulling together. Indeed.
Now, you've had some really fantastic speakers already this morning. We're only approaching lunchtime right now, and one of them was Heather Wheeler, Minister, Government Minister. What was her presentation about, and was she feeling positive about the sector?
True, typical politician style. There wasn't a lot of opinion, it was just a lot of facts what they're going to be doing. So they're talking about various legislations, and of course the tenant fee ban was mentioned. But it's quite interesting that because of various things that are going on in world affairs, such as the Syria crisis, we had to chop it around. So she wasn't due until later, so she had to come in, do her speech and talk, and then she left quite quickly. But it was interesting. It was a little bit of it's going to happen. You've just got to get on board. What you're going to do about it? But it was positive. It was a lot more collaboration. I feel that she wanted to work with big, larger agencies such as ARLA. So from an outsider looking in, it was positive to see that the government want to work with us.
Fantastic. Now, you also had the ex-boss of Sainsbury's, which is quite a lateral choice of a speaker at an event like this. What was his message?
I really enjoyed Justin King's message. I thought it was fantastic, and he likened the property sector to his time at Sainsbury's. He talked about customer retention and who your customer is, and we all know, we work for the landlords, but also the tenants are our customer. You treat the tenants well, and then the supply chain, i.e. the landlords, they will come to you, because without the tenants, the landlord doesn't have tenants to look after the property. So it was excellent. There was a lot of food for thought, a lot of brutal honesty and brutal truths about the way that some tenants are treated, and that there's a bit of a disconnect between tenants and letting agents, and that we should come together and treat them as our customers, and then that will serve everybody better. There
is always that slight issue that the landlord is viewed as the client of the letting agent. So it's interesting to hear his view, but absolutely agree 100% that tenants are customers, and without them, none of us have a business.
Absolutely, and I think it was. I hear what people say that the landlords are the landlords are your clients, and I do absolutely agree. But when the legislation, the regulation are quite clear, it's either you follow it or you don't. So if you don't follow it, you've got to go on the side of who's right. It doesn't make a difference if it's a landlord, if it's a tenant. You've got to keep yourself compliant. So again, I totally appreciate that the landlords have some bad tenants, but let's be honest, there are some tenants who have bad landlords. And the purpose of conferences like this, not just for us as agents, but the NEA have a great conference as well, and I know the ARLA and the NLA do a lot of sterling work. It's to just try and professionalise whatever industry you're in, and the most important thing is raise the standards, raise the quality of the accommodation, get everybody compliant, and just be more professional in whatever we do.
Absolutely, and Property Tribes supports that 100%. Now, just moving on actually to talk a bit more in depth about the fees ban, what is your personal view on that?
It's not going to be popular. I actually agree with it. I do agree with it. I'm not saying the complete ban, but something had to be done. There was a lot of people taking the mick, as we say up north. And I just think it needed something to happen, because it was. I think the figures were £700 million a year is going to be saved by tenants now, because it's going to be banned. you know, you could argue that a cap was better because up the north it's, you know, 150, 200 pound. But again, it is the further down south, the £1,000, £1,500. It's just not sustainable. But that £700 million is going to be put back into the economy, which can only be a good thing. So yeah, I'm in favour of it.
Okay. Well, just as we close out here at the ARLA PropertyMark conference, JP, you're a landlord, you're a letting agent, you're a business person. You've got a very good overarching view of everything going on in the sector. Are you feeling positive for landlords and the sector in general? I
am. I genuinely am, and I know there's a lot of things going on at the moment, but if you do a job well, you do it correct, you do it professionally, you do it compliant, I don't think you've got a lot to worry about. I know they're trying to squeeze, and it's the figures and the financials, but good business sense and good business practice, you're not over leveraged, you've bought well, you've got good margins, and you look after the pennies, shall we say. I think it's an opportunity for us as well. You know, I think Justin was talking about earlier on about in every adversity there is opportunity, and I absolutely agree with that. If we're going to, you know, take a huff and hit the desk and say, woe betide me, you're just going to go the way of the dodo. You need to sort of pick yourself up, look for the opportunities, professionalise yourself. I know I've said that word a lot, but I do believe that if you're professional, you've got less to worry about. And I think, you know, take the positives from a potentially a negative situation.
No, I totally agree. Well, thank you so much for joining me here on Property Tribes TV at the ARLA PropertyMark conference. And good luck with everything that you're doing, JP. And thank you for all your efforts in raising standards within the property sector, because I know it's something that you feel very passionate about yourself.
Yeah, very passionate about it, yeah.
Well, all the best. Thank you.